Jolly good morning to you from a rather autumnal, overcast and drizzly Prague here in Czechia or Czech Republic, whichever you prefer. Now, I've got a series of 3 videos that will be coming out over the next couple of weeks. This being the first from a little trip I'm doing here in Central Europe, predominantly or specifically to go with my buddy to see some bands in the evening. But while he lollops about in bed all day long and sleeps off copious amounts of beer, I shall go on walking tours each day. And the 3 cities I shall be visiting are, of course, here in Prague, Bratislava and Budapest. I'm hoping to have sufficient time in Budapest to do a walking tour there, but if not, I'll pop something out anyway. So maybe the downside of coming in slightly off season for Prague at least is the weather. As you can probably see, it's fairly cool. However, it probably also means there'll be 1 or 2 less tourists about, maybe easier to wander around, because this is a extremely busy and popular city for tourists. And I'm going to have my first ever proper look around. So it's an area, well, the metro station I just appeared at is called Mustek, I think that's how it's pronounced. And I'll be starting the walk here, which will wind almost endlessly around this beautiful and historic old city. It's very noisy around here. There appears to be a lot of works going on with the tram lines just in this area, so that's all the noise you can hear. Hopefully I'll get away from that fairly quickly, but already it's about 9:30 in the morning, and I see the old groups congregating near here with tour guides with their little orange flags. Of course, what would be cool on a trip to Prague would be to come across the Honest Guides. They do a fantastic vlog on YouTube, maybe some other places too, and we'll let you know about the pros and cons of walking around this beautiful city. If I do bump into Janek and Honza, that would be absolutely superb. Watch all their videos, fantastic. If you've not seen them, just look up on YouTube Honest Guide Prague and you will come across them. They've got hundreds of videos out there and they are funny. Anyway, so taking a little stroll here, just a pretty fairly standard street with cafes, restaurants and sort of usual brand shops that you will find more or less anywhere in Europe. One thing to do though, of course, be it here or anywhere else, and I always say this for London too, is look up. While their street level architecture may be a bit samey and somewhat bland and uninteresting above, that tends not to be changed or altered too much. And again, here is no exception. Hotel Zlata Husa. I should know what that stands for actually. Something house. Friendly house, is it? Something like that. I can't remember. No, someone can probably tell me with my rudimentary understanding of various Slavic languages. Come up to a little fountain here. My tour this morning, I'm using a combination of, look at those walking tours there. They are a good thing to go on. There's quite a few free walking tours. Of course, they're not actually free at all. They're normally you'd expect to tip the tour guide, but Google that if you want to know more information on that. I'm supposed to be turning left here somewhere, but I can't actually see where I can walk through to the road that runs parallel. Oh, could well be down here. I'll have a look anyway, could be interesting. That just took me into a restaurant, so just going to go down the bottom here and take a left turn and try and get back on track. I wasn't paying attention there for a little while. I think I should have taken some sort of a left turn further back down the road there. First stop on this tour. I'll probably be following these guys, or they'll be following me. Is Youngman Square. Talk more about that when I get there. Going back to my friends Honza and Yannick, they point out a lot of the places that would be pretty much classed as tourist traps, overpriced places, and will give you fantastic and viable alternatives. I get a feeling that'll be a place on their list of tourist traps. I can't remember them specifically mentioning that, but I just get that sort of feeling it's one of those, and there's much better alternatives if you listen to the experts. Seems to be an awful lot of these around hempo cannabis shops. If you're into that sort of thing, I can give you absolutely no idea as to the legality of such matters. I mean, presumably a shop like that's legal, but what they're selling in relation to possession of or buying from places other than shops like that, let's say, I really couldn't tell you, to be honest, and I don't care, nothing to do with me, but there are a lot of them around here, it's got to be said. Certainly not seen too many people wandering about smoking cannabis, so I imagine that's not the done thing here. Plenty of the brown signage around which will direct you to places that tourists would be interested in visiting. And we're now at Youngman Square, where there is a statue of Josef Youngman. All these scooters bombing about everywhere, you have to keep your eyes peeled. And lots of American brands as well. This is some of the finest examples of Rondo Cubism, whatever that is, but I'm guessing it's that kind of architecture up there. I've got absolutely no idea what that's all about, but if you know, let me know in the comments section below. It's certainly quite nice architecture around here, and as I say, looking up is always a good idea in these European cities. And my guide is telling me to go through the arches here. I'm really rather pleased at that, where we should find the Church of Our Lady of the Snows. That's the English version anyway. And indeed, here she is. And despite the fact it's raining on a slightly damp and cool Tuesday morning in September, still a lot of tourists turned up there with guides. They're following me for sure. So we're heading to Lucerna Arcade, which should then take us through to Wenceslas Square, and I think Wenceslas Square will probably be the one place most people have heard of if they've heard of nothing else here in Prague. So looking forward to having a look around there. I dare say there'll be lots of people trying to take pictures and so on there, as will I be. So as is always guaranteed, whenever I start videoing, someone will start using noisy garden equipment or drills or such things. Of course, today is no exception. This is certainly one beautiful city, and I can understand why it is so popular. But I'm also wondering why it's taken me so long to get here. Many of these Central and Eastern European cities that are absolutely visited, massive levels of tourism now, of course were a lot harder to visit at one time, back in the communist era, and they certainly would have been interesting places to come to back in those times, I'm sure, before tourism really took over in a big way. It's starting to rain quite hard now. I might have to suspend operations for a little while, but that's not a problem because I desperately need a coffee. These gardens really are very nice. Beautiful. There's some nice smells of food coming from here. Mostly appears to be Asian in this indoor arcade. I think I might take a short break here. Let the rain subside a little bit. It's starting to come down quite hard now. And for those of you that are into public transport, Prague does have some fantastic trams, good old clunkers. Not these modern ones with brilliant suspensions on them and across the road here is Lucerna Passage, or Arcade. Even I can work that out. So let's take a little look down here. I do believe this leads us to Wenceslas Square. I may have read that incorrectly, but I seem to think that that's what it said. Hello. Finding it absolutely incredible, the amount of tour groups going around. So my theory of bad weather and it being slightly out of season has been completely blown out the waters. I can only start to begin to imagine how busy this place is on a warm summer's weekend day in July and August. It's incredible. Heading towards Wenceslas Square now. I'm hoping this isn't it. It's a building site if it is. Well, this is a big disappointment really, because the whole of this area is completely dug up and looks like tram lines are being changed or something like that. The National Museum ahead, which I'm going to walk up to and then head off to the next location on this tour. But another of those quirky touristy trap places, meat and beer on the rails. I do believe that's the place where you can order your stuff and it gets delivered on a little railway line to your table. A little model railway, so to speak. Certainly the big brand names just around here. See Rossmann everywhere you go in Europe, German company. They're pharmacy and chemist. And there's your KFC and Popeyes, which for my money is much better than KFC. I'm sure some would disagree with me. Hoping that the rain is beginning to subside just a little bit. As you will see, there are still plenty of brollies up and still plenty of people wandering around trying to sell hop on hop off tour tickets. I spent £4 on a 24-hour public transport ticket, and that included getting from the airport. There is an airport express bus which costs is it €5-6 one way, but you can just use the normal public transport and metro. Probably takes slightly longer, but it's certainly a lot cheaper and a lot more fun as well. Head off to Rytterska Street now, but this is it's a little bit of a shame about the works going on the road there, and it's all dug up, which is detracting from its beauty slightly. However, so dodge all the brollies. However, it is still a beautiful part of the city. It would look even more beautiful if it wasn't pouring with rain and grey clouds overhead, of course. But that's the same with everywhere. Try London on a autumn day with the rain pouring down. Beautiful city with a great skill of making itself look drab. Bubble tea, delicacy shop. I'd say most of the shops around here are the ones that you probably should avoid unless you want to pay over the odds for things. Right, decision's been made. The rain is getting harder and harder now. Not that you need to really know this as such, but I'm going to go back to base camp for a little while, get a coffee, chill out, and hopefully the rain, according to the weather forecast, it's going to be a little bit dry later on, so suspended operations. Could be a couple of hours for me, probably a couple of seconds for you. See you in a sec. Welcome back. Yes, so had a bit of a pit stop for an hour or two due to it coming down in stair rods, as we would say, but it's just like a light drizzle now. The skies are a little bit brighter, and I'm just going to continue on this general wander. I'll tell you one thing you really notice in Prague, because of all the cobbled streets and pavements, as you can see there, the sound of wheelie bags being taken to and from transportation and accommodation is quite loud. It's quite incredible. Anyway, the app's telling me to go down here in Driska Passage or something like that. Let's see what's down here. Quite a lot of these, it seems, in Prague. Some are more, how would you put it, interesting than others. And this one appears to be, this app seems to be taking me through a department store now, by the looks of things. I just better double check that. I think the app must have known it's raining, because there was absolutely no reason to come this way at all, other than to stay out of the weather. Maybe pop and buy a hat or some clothes along the way. But if I carried on, instead of going through the passageway and straight up the road and turned right, I would have come out onto this road that I'm going to come out onto now at the other side of this shop. Nice enough shop though. Pretty typical. Interesting set of sliding doors. Wow, not even a, what's that? What are they called? Unicycles? Electric unicycle. You see, it's a bit brighter now. There's a bit of rain in the air, not too bad. Can cope with that. It's just somewhat miserable earlier on and getting worse, but I think it's done its thing. I'll check the weather map, and I think by the end of the day it's going to be bright and sunny and quite warm, so came down here earlier on in the video past these fountains. It's a bit of a windy route this app's taking in no logical order, but that's fine. Too much logic in this world. Just this is almost like a sort of stroll that someone that's not done their homework would do. Just ambling, following the nose, seeing what looks interesting and heading towards it. And I have to say, that's my preferred method when I'm not using apps. This is clearly a meeting point for tour groups, and earlier on I came just past that little fountain and took a left up in that direction, and I'm being guided in this way. Chill Bill. See a few of those around. Not your standard tobacconist, let's put it like that. And slightly dubious looking characters outside the foreign exchange, trying to scam you with Belarusian rubles. Apparently is the scam, getting you to change your euros or dollars and giving you back a worthless pieces of paper. I think they're even expired rubles. And have to say, having been a interested viewer of the honest guides, who have done quite a lot about scams that go on here in Prague, that being one of the worst. It's quite true. These guys do hang around and offer you a better exchange rate, allegedly. Don't be fooled. Use your almost perfect rate debit card. Go to a proper bank to use ATMs rather than the Euronet type ATMs that are absolutely everywhere here, they will give you a very poor rate, and in the shops that offer you the prices in crowns, euros, pounds or dollars, take the crowns. Let your bank give you a better exchange rate. That's the general advice for more or less everywhere, particularly countries that have their own currency that's not linked to the euro, dollar or pound. And there's the ubiquitous Irish pub. I'm sure there'll be plenty of those here in Prague. It's funnily enough, it's the first one I've seen so far, but I'm sure there are probably plenty more. And generally speaking, it's somewhere where you can grab yourself a pint of Guinness or Murphy's, if that's your thing. At a slightly inflated price, obviously. But, Adelia Thai massage. Please ring the doorbell to the right of the next gate. It's interesting. Almost sounds slightly shady, that, doesn't it? Say no more. On Vltava now, which was the next street to be sent to. On Havelska now, in the old town, coming up to a market. It's like a fruit and veg market from here. Kind of these colonnades just here, lots of little cafes and so on inside. It's a bit minging, doesn't it? A little litter put in it. Get the feeling that late night revellers may use some of these colonnades as a place to relieve themselves. And the favourite of most Central Europeans, sausages with bread, klobasa, chlebem, which is very similar to the Polish actually. Kielbasa, chleb I think is, or something along those lines. I'm sure a Pole and a Czech person can understand each other fairly reasonably well. Probably a bit like I can understand a Glaswegian speaking. Just about. Might pop back to that stall later on actually and grab myself a spot of lunch there. Let's check if I need cash first. Most places here you just pay by card, and as I say, pay in crowns, let your bank do the exchange. Let's just have a little look, otherwise I'll have to pop to an ATM. Seen two guys walking down the road eating what appeared to be Hungarian langos. Now maybe there's a Czech version of that, which is kind of a deep fried bread dough with cheese and garlic and so on it. very nice. I'll be in Budapest in a few days, and I shall definitely have a langosh there. If I see somewhere here that sells one, I might well grab that as a snack, because they are really nice. Well, this is a large tour group. A few brollies. And we're on to Zelenza. I reckon they may have got their langosh from in there, or whatever they call it here. If indeed it was one, it certainly looked like one. And I got a little whiff of it as they walked by, and it certainly smelled nice. I'm just going to go and have a look in this this place and see what they've got on offer. Oh, I can report I didn't see anything resembling langosh being sold in there, so I'll give that a miss. It was pretty much just baguettes. Very nice looking baguettes, I have to say. Right, heading to something called Carolinium now, just around this corner somewhere. A lot of people standing around taking photographs, so I guess we're not far away. So just a street art person stood there. Oh no, it's just a statue, and they just happen to be. Certainly tour guides in lots of different languages available, obviously in English. I've heard plenty of others as well, including, I believe, Finnish. I saw. I wouldn't know Finnish if I heard it, but there was a lady stood there with a sign, handwritten in paper, with Finnish on it, so there must be a lot of Finns in town, or a lot come here, and I believe this is it. Again, a little bit of building work going on. Certainly lots of colonnades you can go into anyway to shelter from a bit of rain. I cannot even begin to pronounce the name of this street, or something like Novotny Tur. That I know will be completely and utterly wrong, absolutely murdered the pronunciation, but that's what it's called. It's a funny mixture of kind of touristy shops, quite high-end cafes and so on, and well-known brands such as that ahead of me. Heading towards the next point on the route is Cafe Orient, just down here somewhere, and voila, it's just highlighting the cubist architecture that was rampant in Prague, apparently, in the early 20th century. This place here is called Kubista. Rain starts to pick up again. I'm going to the Powder Tower. Sounds interesting. Certainly has a a real historic feel about it, this city, other than there's thousands of tourists wandering around with cameras and other modern tech, and of course a lot of modern hello. Yeah, well, as I was saying, Prague old car, that kind of stuff for all these happy tourists that come and visit here. As I say, the best guys to speak to are the not speak to personally, but watch their videos, are the honest guides. If you do get to speak to them personally, then happy days, but I think they're very busy. If you want to avoid some of the pitfalls of this place and make sure that you don't miss out on all the good stuff, I'm guessing that's the tower, which appears to be covered in scaffolding at the moment. As I mentioned earlier, public transport here in Prague is very affordable, but the city centre itself is absolutely walkable. There's not really a need to have too much in the way of public transport tickets, other than ones to get you, say, from the airport to your accommodation and back again if you're flying back out. And you can do that on an app which is in English. Just remember to validate your ticket, otherwise you will enjoy the wrath of the Prague ticket inspectors, who apparently will take great delight in fining you. 50 euros, I believe. So for the sake of £1 or so for a ticket or a day pass, which I think is €4, about approximately €4, maybe 5. It's not worth it. Just buy a ticket and validate it. If you do buy one-off tickets from machines, then you validate them as you get on the bus or tram. If you buy a ticket on a tram or a bus, they'll already be validated, so don't validate them a second time, otherwise they'll become invalid. That's the general message. But check out some vlogs all about that, so you don't get yourself into any bother. It's one thing there isn't a shortage of here in Prague is cobbled stones. As I say, you get that perpetual clonking of wheelie bags going over them, and because a lot of the centre is not really is kind of pedestrianised in a lot of cases, or you can't, buses and trams don't really go down them. You have to get off at the nearest point and walk the rest of the way. Taxis probably would be able to get you a little bit closer, but where's the fun in that? There we go. The sound of Prague, closely followed by the sound of trams. That's quite a modern one actually, but you do see some quite interesting old trams still knocking about here. The real bone shakers. This walking route that I'm taking, as I say, it's quite a windy, somewhat illogical route around the city centre, which suits me fine. I've got no problem with that. It's almost like they've randomly listed about 20 places to go and look at, and randomly put them into a routing, rather than anything else. Kind of a bit of backtracking is going on. The latest waypoint is the Hotel Paris, which I'm right outside of now. Some of the distances between the places are quite small. And this is an impressive building. Let's just take that back a little bit. With Tony's Cafe and Bar. This rain is it's not as bad as it was earlier on, but it's being very persistent today, if you know what I mean. Persistent. Lots of these little tourist cars. Prague old car knocking about. Not for me, that sort of thing, I have to say. And the next stopping point is the Basilica of St James, which is quite a long haul from here, all of 3 minutes. Certainly going to have gone down many of the little side roads. A lot of signs for WC. I know, not to put too fine a point on it, there was an issue of, let's just say, people that had drunk maybe slightly too much beer, having to use facilities in the street or using the street, which is never great, not for the people whose door it was or whatever else. So I've seen one or two what you might call, they call them pissoirs in France, sort of outdoor urinals that you can go into, on signs that are advertised as WC. Probably, this is Europe, remember, they'll be charging you to go in there, and I wouldn't expect it to be anything less than €1. But I don't know, my accommodation's very close to here, so if I personally have that sort of need, I will pop back and use my own. Or of course you could go into a cafe and a restaurant, and in most cases they'll have one in there. Or just don't go out for a walk if you've had too much beer to drink. Might be an idea. Can get quite slippy, these cobbles in the wet. I've got a decent pair of shoes on, so it's not really going to bother me, but could be an issue. As always, yeah, the facade is what was being pointed out to come and have a look at, and yeah, quite interesting. As I say, remember to always look up. And apparently inside there is a mummified forearm that's over 400 years old. I'm just going to go and see if I can go in and have a little look around now. I'm not a churchgoer myself, but I can appreciate the architecture and the beauty of some of the buildings, and that certainly is right up there. If you like looking around churches, that's definitely a place to go. I didn't see the mummified forearm, but some of the church was cordoned off. And now heading towards the Old Town Square. That's an annoying noise. So many cafes and restaurants. The smells wafting around here at the moment are really quite marvellous. What the pricing's like, right smack bang in the middle of the city like this. I couldn't really tell you. I looked at some prices, and they seem to be fairly reasonable. But I'm sure there are examples where that's not the case. There's another Irish bar there, at least I imagine it is. The Dubliner, but seems to be without its tacky green shamrocks and such like. This particular one, which is a pleasant change in itself. Prague's favourite Irish bar, in fact, it's saying. It's probably favourite because they haven't made it look like some sort of silly caricature. It was quite good, actually. Here we are in the Old Town Square. Absolutely ram-packed solid with tourists, of course, even on a cool, rainy September morning. So you can only imagine what it's like on a warm Saturday afternoon in July and August. But it is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful, and the weather shouldn't detract. Of course, if you are planning to come here, I would say spring and autumn are probably your best times. I'd imagine there'd be less touristy on the whole. I also imagine the temperature will be more to your liking, but of course there is more chance of getting rained upon. But summers here can be pretty hot and winter's pretty cold. But if you've got the right gear on, that's not going to affect you too much. Now, the old Prague ham, I've been warned about those, how they price it up, and it looks good. I'm sure it tastes good, but it is, as I understand it, if you're buying it in places like this, extremely expensive. But they've got a queue, they're going to charge, aren't they? But I think it's charged on a weight basis, so you get a lot more than you anticipated you were going to get, and then are charged accordingly by weight. It certainly smells nice, and there's a lot of people stood here eating it. And I can actually see a stand selling langosh, so I don't know if that's a Czech thing as well as in Hungary. Certainly quite a queue for those as well. Yeah. I'll give it a miss. And of course did my best to keep the crane out of the picture there. With the latest photography tech, should be able to have that removed, but I probably won't bother. I like people to see things as they really are, and like any big city, working city, it's going to have stuff that you'd probably rather not see. But so what are they charging for coffees over there? There's very few things I ever look at pricing and that I ever sort of really think, well, is that expensive or good price? Long black 95, so that's a cappuccino 89, so that's just under, that's about around about €3, just under £3. Probably not too bad considering where we are. So I'm going to head out of the old town square. This is certainly a place you could spend plenty of time chilling out, and probably paying slightly too much for things like the Tredelnik, those what are they called? They're not even, don't think they're even traditional, are they, for here? But if you like sort of strangely tasted grilled bread with cinnamon and cream inside, then they're for you. And they'll be overpriced here as well. But I think a lot of people do partake. It's quite smoky around here actually, from the all these logs being burned to cook the meat. One thing I haven't seen here in Prague yet, but I'm absolutely sure that there will be one, will be some kind of bridge or monument of some description, or fence covered in love locks. Seems to be the thing these days. Pop in padlocks with your name on them, and causing the local authorities a great deal of hassle, trying to get rid of them before the structure falls down with all the weight. Because last time I was in Cologne, the love locks on the bridge, the railway bridge going into the city, they'd taken a lot down because I think it was literally the weight was. And here, of course, is the Astronomical Clock. With absolutely everybody wishing to have their photograph taken here. I believe the astronomical clock does do something, but as it's 21 minutes to the hour, I'm kind of thinking that nothing's going to happen for at least 21 minutes, maybe 6, who knows. It's a bit of a bun fight round here, to say the least, so I'm going to head away and let's go and see what else we can find. Very atmospheric. There we go, there's another Irish pub, Golden Kettle Irish pub, with the spit cake they're calling it there, Tredelnik. That's not the name I've heard them called. just remember the name that they generally get referred to as funnel cakes. Apparently not very nice, very expensive, and yeah, don't really appeal to me, that sort of thing. But seems to be a lot of kids eating them. Quite a lot of people begging on the streets here, I won't lie to you. That's part of the course for most big cities, of course, as sad as it is. I guess it's up to you how you deal with that. I have to say, I must have walked past the various entrances to the Mustek metro station umpteen times today. I'm guessing it's the one to come to if you want the old town, and my accommodation is near the museum, which is where I got off yesterday, and that's also near the main station. Right, so that's quite a interesting meandering wander around the old town of Prague, and I'm going to head off to the funicular now. That's something that's included on your day passes, so if you've got a day pass, don't buy yourself another ticket for it, and I'll just take a little ride on that up to the top, have a little look around up there. The funicular from here is about 1.5 miles. I'm going to head off in that direction, but I think I'm just going to hop on a tram just for the sheer pleasure of riding on a tram. So if you've got a day pass ticket in any case, then you can just hop on public transport as you wish. And just looking at the route out to the funicular, it doesn't look particularly inspiring. So I'll opt for the tram. Just slightly diverted along the way into a massive, great big gaming place. Music blaring out, all these good old-fashioned games available to play. But there were some public loos in here, so that drew my attention. There's also a food hall, so I'm just going to stop for a bit of a breather before I head out to the funicular, have a spot of lunch, and then head out to the funicular, see what's going on there before we conclude this video. It's quite a place, this. Right, so that's lunch completed, little tram ride completed. That was only just a couple of stops over the river, just for the fun of it really, because easily walkable, just the same. I'm just going to head round the corner here to the funicular, and may well walk back down. Not decided yet, have a look when I get up there, but I guess we're going up the top of this hill here. And according to Google Maps at least, the funicular is yeah, down this way. Just saw a sign with it on. And what a change to the weather. It was still drizzling when I went inside to get something to eat, and now it's warm sunshine, so the raincoat needs to go away. There's a lot quieter part of the city over here already. Not sure if that was a great big queue I can see over there for the funicular. If it is, then I'm guessing I might change my plans. As mentioned before, this isn't a tourist attraction as such. It's just part of the public transport system here in Prague, so you can just use your normal tickets to go up there. This isn't a queue for it either. Exit from where the entrance is. Closed. It's interesting. According to Google, it's not closed. I think perhaps I need to go down this way. This won't be the first time that I've made a special effort to go to something and it's been completely closed when I've got there. Let's just try here. I can see the line. Maybe they're closed for lunch, who knows. So a strangely small entrance and big exit for some reason. Quite sure what that's all about. Well, you can see the lines for the funicular. Bizarre. Right. comes out to the station, and I guess if it was running, the cables would be moving, and that right hand cable, I'm guessing, would be on its runners, which it isn't. Yeah, very interesting. Right, well, not having anticipated or seen anything to suggest it wasn't open, including Google, which says it's open until 11 o'clock tonight, from the 13th of September. Now is the 20-something of September. It's closed until further notice for maintenance, so it's been closed a while, and yeah, can't go up it. So the only other option is the one I'm going to take, and that's to walk up to the top of the hill, because who doesn't like walking up to the top of a hill? Let's see what we can see up here, get out of the hustle and bustle of the city for a while, and probably end the video up the top here. My legs are getting tired now after lots of miles in and around the city today, but this seems like a nice walk. Excuse me. We'll be off to Bratislava tomorrow, and tomorrow night, I think it's tomorrow night. Tonight I'm going to go and see a band here in Prague. Tomorrow night, or maybe the following night, in Bratislava. So looking forward to that, but I'll try and squeeze in a quick video of the city. A few ideas of what I might do, including a wander around the old town, which is quite small apparently, and May, assuming things are running properly. There's been some quite serious flooding here in Europe over the last few weeks, particularly around the Danube, which flows through Bratislava. So I may take a trip to the 3 Points monument between the three countries of Hungary, Slovakia and Austria, but it will largely depend on how public transport's operating. I think a fair few people have decided to do the same as me and just walk up, as soon as we've made the effort to get here. It's not hard to see why a funicular was put in, because that's quite a slog, and I'm about halfway at the moment to, I think, the top of the funicular's Petrin, or again, probably pronouncing that completely wrong. Been taking some shortcuts across the hill, but it's a little bit slippy at the moment, so I'm going to attempt to go around this way, around the proper way, the hairpin bends. Cavern Museum something. Now that is a fine view, and we're not at the top yet. If we ignore all the tenement blocks in the background. Onwards and upwards. Well, here we are at the top, and just walking past the Astro Bistro on account of the fact there's some astronomy goes on here, or did do, but I guess you can have a look around in there. Planetarium. These are certainly beautiful gardens up here, and I would say on the whole, a trip up via funicular would be the preferred route. It's a bit of a slog up that hill, to say the least. Particularly if you're of a certain age or lacking a certain amount of mobility. There's a tower you can go up to the top of just over there, which, claim it resembles the Eiffel Tower. I'll let you decide on that. I'm going to walk up to that. General walk around here. Maybe go back to the Astronomical cafe back there. Have a cuppa before I head back down. This is definitely worthy of a couple of hours of your time when you come to Prague, and it does feel like you're away from that kind of very touristy and tourist trapped type environment that does sort of feel like that in the old town, as beautiful as it is. It's really rather a nice day now as well, and this is the entrance and exit to the funicular, if it was working. They put the sign in. For safety reasons, the operation of the funicular is discontinued from 13 September until further notice. Well, that is a shame, because that's certainly a very inexpensive tourist attraction in its own right. I'm not going to go up the Eiffel Tower. Looks like you have to walk up it actually. I can see a spiral staircase and people moving. Don't know the exact price of it, but get your guide who sell tickets for things, and obviously guided tours around places, but just tickets for entry into places was showing at $7 or $9. I can't exactly remember now, but that's that kind of price. So probably in the £5 to £6 mark to go up there if you wish. But I'm going to start walking back down now. A slightly different route to the one I took coming up, and head back into the city and call this video a day. I'll come back to you if and when I find something of interest along the way. But if you enjoyed this video, please do click on the like button. Subscribe if you want to see others. I've got lots of videos of walks all around the UK, places in Europe such as this, and further afield too. If you press the yellow button, it will let you know when new ones come out. So thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you again in the next one. Probably worth noting, this different route I'm taking back is mostly steps in a more direct route than cutting up man-made paths on slippy hills or the windy road. But some of these steps, apart from the fact some of them are quite wet and slippy, I've kind of fallen, it's a bit of an angle, so if you do come this way, especially if you're a bit unsteady on your feet, be very careful. You wouldn't want to fall down here, but the views of Prague from up the top are spectacular, and I guess if you go up the tower they'll be even more spectacular. So there you go.